Hey YouTube, welcome to my channel. It's been a long absence. I think I posted my first video probably close to over a decade ago. Well, more like 8 to 9 years. I haven't really looked at the dates lately, but I think my oldest video is probably around 9 years old. Very basic, not even this type of video. It was just a screencast with tutorials on how to use your printer and printer profiles back when I was doing wedding photography. Needless to say, I'm not doing that anymore. The reason being that I was spending all of my weekends during the summer and early spring and even early fall covering weddings. It was an all-day affair. So after a couple of years of doing that, I grew tired of it. I needed some time for myself to enjoy life. As opposed to spend weekends shooting other people's weddings and then spending the rest of the week editing on top of my full-time job, which was pretty demanding as well. So whatever free time I had, it had to be spent editing wedding photography. So fast forward to 2019, and we're almost at the end of 2019 now. Wedding photography is in the back burner. I sold all my camera gear. This camera that I'm using now is brand new, more in line with the times. It does video, and it's perfect for vlogging. So without further ado, I wanted to introduce my channel again, or formally introduce it actually. Hopefully the videos will be mostly concentrated on tutorials for web design, and also for email marketing and marketing automation. I want to say that's going to be the niche, but in reality I have several interests which range from what I do for work, which I actually enjoy doing, and coffee making, mostly espresso based drinks. So you might see the odd coffee related video here and there, and cycling. Those two are my main passions, hobbies, whatever you want to call it. As for cycling, it's mostly road cycling. So we'll see if you find any cycling related videos later on once I start mastering the tools for making these videos. But from today, I wanted to talk to you about how to make your WordPress installation be a lot faster and hopefully rank better because of that speed with Google. And the 5 items that I wanted to mention are pretty much all you need to get your website working at blazing speeds and hopefully get you up the rankings in Google. So let's start with the first one. The first and most important factor, I'd say, is finding a very good hosting company. And if you want blazing speed, you definitely want to go with a managed WordPress hosting solution. There are several out there. They're definitely a little bit more expensive than your regular $5 a month, $3 a month. The cheaper ones, you know who they are. And if you're just starting out, it's very tempting to go with those. Heck, I went with one of those for as long as 6 years before I realized all the things that go into the algorithm for determining your Google ranking, and speed being a very important factor. So I decided to change. Like I said, there are several companies offering this service. I found that Flywheel was really good in their offering. The price is pretty competitive compared to other managed WordPress hosting solutions, and all the features that you need to buy separately with the cheap solutions are already included in the price. So actually, when you factor in all those services that you need to add, you end up paying about the same per month. A little bit less, but you have if you go with a cheap solution, you might be paying a little bit less, but you get so much more performance with a managed WordPress hosting solution. And you remove all the headaches of, oh man, that backup didn't work, I have to go back and see what happened, or I got a malware injection in my website, how do I remove it? They take care of all that for you, so you don't have to worry about it. All you have to do is concentrate on your business and not fiddling with a website. In my case, that's what I do for a living, so I know what to do, but the less I have to think about it, the better. All right, so that's the most important factor. Get a really good quality hosting company. Number 2 is use a theme or framework that is solid and has good support behind it. For my website, onerojodesign.com, I use the Aveda theme, which I purchased from ThemeForest. And that framework has so many features, it can be overwhelming. But the upside of that is that you can customize it to your heart's content. You can make pretty much any website that you want to make using that framework. And the best part is that it's very well supported because it has so many sales, just for the fact that you can use it for whatever project you want to use it for. It has plenty of sales, so the developers behind it constantly make updates, add new features, and they're constantly updating, so it keeps pace with WordPress and all the updates, as well as plugins and stuff like that. Now, the reason for a solid framework and theme, it's related to another factor in this list that I'm going to talk about later. But anyways, just when you get a theme for your website, don't get free stuff. A lot of the free stuff comes at a price. It comes already with some malware injected to promote some service or product. Get something that is solid, that it has good support behind it, and that you can keep updating for many years to come. Number 3, find the right caching plugin. Can't stress enough how important it is that you get a caching plugin for your website, and a good quality caching plugin. Don't go for the free stuff. You can, but I'd suggest getting a more robust solution. For my website, I use WordPress Rocket, or WP Rocket, as the name is actually listed on the web. And essentially this plugin works with any theme, any hosting environment, and it's one of the few caching plugins approved by Flywheel, because it's a managed WordPress hosting solution, has already their caching built in. But this particular plugin they allow you to use, and you can use it with the free content delivery network provided by Flywheel. I can tell you, once that plugin is set up and you tweak all the different settings, you could be looking at 90+% speed using GT metrics. And page speed insights from Google, you could be around 85-90%, something like that. Very fast. So again, I can't stress enough the importance of a caching plugin to improve your speed, how fast your pages load, because there's nothing more frustrating when people come to your website and there's that loading icon and it takes seconds and seconds, which, back in the dial-up days was not that bad, but today people are impatient. They want instant access, so you better have that for them. Okay, moving on to point number 4. Use a content delivery network. The content delivery network allows you to, or a CDN, the acronym for it, allows you to serve your assets and your pages way faster to your audience in your local market. So let's say you are in the US, you want a server that is working out of the US and not in Europe, because otherwise it's just going to take a little bit longer to get that information back to your client or whoever is viewing your website. So CDN, get one if you don't have one. Again, if you have a managed WordPress hosting solution like Flywheel, that's already included. If you had one of the cheap solutions, you'd have to buy that separately. And depending on the service, you could be looking at $10 or more a month. on top of your hosting fee that you pay every month. So very important to get that if you want your website performance and speed to be up to spec. And last but not least, optimize your images. You wouldn't believe how many clients I've had who are uploading 2.5 meg images to their website. No compression, not saving for web, not using Photoshop, just straight as it came from the camera, they just upload it to the website. And then they come to me asking like, my website is kind of slow, it takes a while to load up. Yeah, that's because your uploading images are too big for the web. They will upload, but whether or not they load up fast when you open that page it's an entirely different matter. So there are plugins to do this. The company that I mentioned before that makes the caching plugin, WP Rocket, they also have a plugin called Imagify, which compresses images. And you get a free monthly allotment to compress images. So if you upload a lot of images, let's say you have a photography website and you are uploading images on a regular basis, you might want to consider getting one of these plugins. And even if you don't, it just saves you space on your hosting solution. And because the images are compressed, the page is going to load up faster, way faster. So it's the last item on the list, but it's very important as well. Anyways, those are the 5 tips for making your WordPress installation blazing fast. I'm gonna add the links for the plugins and the theme and everything on the description below. And I hope you will continue watching more videos on this channel. Bye.